Yeah, we back. Yeah, we back. Now today is gonna be a quick video. Gonna be responding to my brother Afro think tank. Right. So earlier today, I'm minding my business. Right, and my phone just blowing up. Phone just going crazy. Right, and I'm getting all these messages. This person is talking about Afro think tank sent me. Oh, I just got here. Oh, I'm from Afro think tank. Afro think tank shouted you out. Afro think tank sent me here. So I'm like, damn. So I go to my brother's channel. And you know, my brother, he always uploading videos. So I'm like, God damn, my man just uploaded like 10 videos in like the past 2 days. And when it comes to my brother Afro Think Tank, I watch his videos to kind of get his thoughts and opinions on certain topics. And at the time, I didn't remember if he shouted me out on anything recently. So I went to the most recent video that he just dropped. It was entitled, I hit 40,000 subscribers, but I want to talk about this. So I clicked the video and then it all made sense. That's where all the traffic was coming from. So I'm going to jump into the video. I'm going to be giving my reaction. Not wasting no time. Let's get into it.
Instead of really gloating about my 40,000 subscribers, as a black male, Pan-African, keeping it real brother, I want to talk about, instead, I want to talk about another brother who has a YouTube channel that is faceless. It's a faceless YouTube channel. And faceless YouTube channels also have extra added difficulty, especially when they're in this space, a Pan-African, pro-black, unapologetically black space. Right? Because some people you got people who don't show their face because they're scamming you, or they're just gaslighting you to make money. Faceless YouTube channels, get an extra layer of scrutiny because they have to go a little harder, or they have to be more tactical because people are always going to question or whether they're legit or not, because like we can't even see you, right? And me myself, I know if you show your face, put face to what it is that you're saying, if you about that, and then let cards land where they may. But everybody don't have the convenience to do that in real life, right? And so this faceless YouTube channel I want to talk about is a brother that has to do it because of the nature of his family business, which tactically, right, if you put the ego aside, tactically, that's the smartest decision a black person could make, to continue to elevate themselves, their family, and their community, while also being able to speak truth to power, protecting his assets, his family, and his community, while still putting maximum effort into speaking truth to power to protect and uplift his community. Right? So tactically, sometimes it has to be done. And we have to be able to discern between the difference between somebody doing it for that reason and somebody who's doing it because they're scamming you, right? Because of the questionable actions that they have taken, right? And the person I want to talk about now has just hit 20,000 subscribers. So as impressed as I am with my 40,000, I'm more impressed with his 20,000 subscribers, because I believe if he had the opportunity, if his situation was different, to be able to show his face, the level of his production, right, and the quality of his videos based off his limitations, if that's any indicator, and his vocabulary and his wealth of knowledge, had he been able to show his face and do a full production and it translated over to live video presentations, he would have 1 million subscribers. I'm thoroughly convinced that this brother would have 1 million subscribers. He'd be one of the top Pan-African, pro-black. He'd be the prince of Pan-Africanism, right? And the person I'm talking about is Neferkare Dessalines. Neferkare Dessalines, my Haitian brother from New York. I listen to that guy every day. Young man. I guess he's I'm 42. I think he's in his 20s, right? And I have to say that for a faceless YouTube channel, right, because of him being smart enough to protect his assets, protect his family, and protect his community, right, this brother has managed to put together a body of work, right, that is absolutely crucial to the in the age of information for black people to download and understand and recognize.
All right, we back. Now, I just want to say, as long as I got the respect of my brothers, that's all that matters. As long as I got the respect of my women, that's all that matters. I don't care what the next man think. I don't care what the next community think. As long as my brothers rock with me, as long as my women rock with me, that's all I need. Now, first things first, I just want to say my introduction to, I guess, black YouTube came from me being a spectator. I was a spectator at first, right? So I was watching guys like Afro Think Tank at first, long before I jumped on the microphone and started putting out my own content. So when I get acknowledged by guys who I was watching before, to me, that's crazy. And one thing that always blew me away about my channel, even when my channel was really small, like when I had like 700 subscribers or 1,200 subscribers, or, when I was real small, like first coming up in the game, I would notice I would have individuals come into my comment section and they would have like 80,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers. I'm like, God damn, bro. Like, how'd you find my channel? And that's what was always unique about my channel. Right? Even when my channel was super small, I would have these super massive channels following my channel, reacting to my channel. I remember Tanya TKO. She's in a whole different algorithm than me, right? She's in the, the black women empowerment space. These niggas ain't shit, right? I remember she did a reaction video to one of my videos when I had like 500 subscribers. She ain't even have to do that, bro. She could have just ignored me like, bro, who is this nobody, talking nonsense, right? But she responded and did a reaction to my video in front of her audience of like, hundreds of thousands. And, that's been on multiple occasions. I've gotten acknowledgement by a lot of big channels. I remember O'Shea Duke Jackson came into my comment section. I had like 1,000 subscribers, right? I did a video dissing O'Shea. O'Shea came into the comment section like, all right, bro, keep growing your little channel, right? Now we here, we 20,000 deep, 23,000 deep, right? O'Shea still ain't responded to me yet. O'Shea told me, listen, get your weight up first, right? Maybe when you get 100,000, I'ma holla at you. I made like 20 videos dissing O'Shea. O'Shea has not responded, not once. O'Shea treat me like Jay-Z. O'Shea be like Drake. Listen, I ain't responding to that little dude, but I know O'Shea be watching the channel. Cause I be watching O'Shea's videos and I know he be watching the channel. But I got love for O'Shea. That's what it is, man. I'm a spectator of the space. I was a spectator of the space long before I became an active participant. So when it comes to your favorite YouTuber, I probably dissed him. I probably dissed him multiple times. But you notice, I never not once dissed my brother Afro Think Tank. You notice that, right? Your favorite YouTuber, I done crashed out on your favorite YouTuber multiple times. I done crashed out on O'Shea. I done crashed out on Tariq. I done crashed out on Jason Black. I done crashed out on Professor Black Truth. I done crashed out on, MTR, mediocre tutorials and reviews, back in the day. I done crashed out on, so many YouTubers. I done came, Chaotic Truth. I done crashed out on Brandon Tatum. I done crashed out on Candace Owens. I done crashed out on that conservative chick out in England who's the leader of the conservative party. I done crashed out on so many figures. I done crashed out on Paul Kagame. I done crashed out on Alison Watara. I done crashed out on so many individuals in the media. But you ever notice, I never crashed out on my brother Afro Think Tank. Never not once dissed my brother, right? And I got genuine respect for him. And he's always showed me that love. Even when my channel was really small, it's not the first time he shouted me out, as a matter of fact, right? Even when my channel was really small, he always gave me that love. Yo, subscribe to my brother Neferkare Dessalines, right? Subscribe to that brother, right? And he did not have to do that. So when it comes to my brother Afro Think Tank, it's all love and respect. Now, as it relates to the reason why I keep a low profile, I've always been an introverted type of guy. I've always been a guy who never really liked the attention. Even as a kid, just the thought of being famous it just sounded terrible to me. Like, you mean to tell me I can't go to 7-Eleven and get a Celsius? Like, damn, I can't even go to the store, bro. I can't even go to the gas station. Like, godly, bro. That always sounded like a terrible way to live. So I never wanted that. And when it comes to me, I really be outside, right? I really be outside damn near every day. I really be in the corner store. I really be in the deli getting a sandwich. I really be in the Walgreens, getting a gallon of water. I really be outside for real. And on top of that, I never really expected the channel to grow as much as it did. I always thought the channel was going to be like really small. I didn't know if there was even a market for what I was even trying to promote and distribute. And when it comes to me, I never been the flashy type. Even when you go to my Instagram don't got nothing on it. My Instagram is empty, right? I can easily, if I wanted to, I could flash and splash and go crazy, but I'm not the flashy type. I do not like the attention. I feel like attention brings negativity. And I guess it's probably due to certain events that happened in my childhood that kind of stuck with me, right? Like, for example, I remember I was in like the 2nd grade and my father, he had this Infinity. Back then, this was like the early 2000s, right? So he had like the Infinity J30. And I remember, he got me dressed for school, went outside. I seen the windows smashed out and I seen the radio was gone, right? Overnight, they done, stole the radio. Another incident happened. He bought my mother the new Acura, right? Now, keep in mind, the neighborhood we were living in at the time, it wasn't the greatest neighborhood, right? It wasn't the best neighborhood. But at the time, it was within their budget and everything was nearby. The grocery store is nearby. The school is nearby. Everything is nearby. Now, at this time, me and my family, my mother, my father, me, my little sister, we all sleeping in one bedroom, 1-bedroom apartment, 1 bathroom. Now, my father, even though at the time we live in, very humble, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, apartment, my father always was driving clean. He always had a nice whip. Always had a crazy whip parked in front of the house. Even still to this day, I mean, the collection of whips is crazy. It's crazy. But back then, even in the humble days, Pops always made sure he was riding clean. So he got my mother the brand new Acura, brand new Acura 2-door. I forget what it was, but this was back in the early 2000s. Man, they done stole the whole Acura in less than 6 months. I remember we went outside, the Acura was gone. The Acura was gone, bro. Like, at first, they stole my pop's radio. The second time, they came and took the whole whip. My mom's entire Acura. And even as a kid, I put 2 and 2 together. Damn. The reason why we're being targeted is because we're flashing unnecessarily. right? Why are we parking these vehicles in this neighborhood? It doesn't even make sense. As a kid, I was doing the math inside my head. I'm like, the reason why they stealing our shit is because we flexing and flashing in the wrong place. So from a young age, I always had the mentality that unnecessary attention is going to bring negativity. Unnecessary attention is going to bring destruction. So I never liked unnecessary attention. I never liked to be the center of attention. I like to be in the back, low key, doing my thing, minding my business. But there are those who have met me off the platform and spoken to me off the platform. So I am a real person. And like I said, I really do be outside. I really be outside, walking down the street, in the deli, getting a sandwich. I'll be in a nice part of town and I'll be in a rough part of town. I'll be in the trenches and I'll be in the suburbs with the Mercedes Benzes. So I really be outside. And the fact that I really be outside, I do like to, protect my privacy in that regard, right? I don't want you to bother me at my place of work. No, I don't want you to bother me when I'm outside, socializing. And plus, it's not about me. It's about the content. It's about the information. And most importantly, I always felt like my perspective was missing. Right, like when it came to the media, when it came to the archetypes of black men, it was very few archetypes. Right, you had the rapper, right? You had the athlete, the ball player, the football player. You had the drug dealer, the criminal, the vagabond, and that was pretty much the main three archetypes when it came to black men in the media. So I did not see myself in any of those archetypes. So instead of me complaining about it, I said, listen, I'm gonna be my own representation, because when it comes to me, it's a bunch of brothers like me from the same social class, from the same upbringing and background. It's a bunch of brothers like me. I'm not the only one. And I always felt like it was nobody really speaking for us. This is off topic, but if you look at the Carmelo Anthony situation and how they jumped the gun and rushed to judgment with so many stereotypes. But guys like that, that's who I grew up around. And I feel like we didn't have anybody speaking for us, right? Guys who, their mom was a doctor and their dad was an engineer, or their father was in finance and their mother was a university professor, or the mother was an accountant and the father was a business owner. It's a lot of us out here, but I always felt like we were definitely underrepresented. So that's part of the reason why I came on YouTube and started putting out my own content and distributing my own thoughts and opinions. Now let's continue.
This man, Neferkare Dessalines, has opened my eyes to what's going on in the Francophone countries. If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't know what was going on in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. That's the most important thing that's happening in the black world on this planet right now for African people. And my man, Neferkare Dessalines, every day makes sure that we're up to date on what's happening over there. So it's a very important piece, and he breaks it down. You can't misunderstand it when he's speaking. And the man vocabulary is excellent, second to none. And that just makes me feel good as an older dude. He's a younger brother in that we still have brothers that value education, that value having a vocabulary. Because the thing is, the more ways you know how to communicate, the better you'll be able to get to people.
Now, once again, much love, bro. Much respect, man. Honestly. Now, as it relates to the vocabulary, that's simply a carryover from my skills as a writer, right? The reason why I'm able to put words together is because I'm able to write words together very good. That's also why I do music as well. That's why I write songs as well. I'm very good with putting words together and writing especially. You could ask every teacher I've ever had since the first grade. And one thing every single teacher always told my folks, listen, this kid, he can write. Your son, listen, his writing is on another level. I already knew it. Listen, if the teacher said, I need you to write an essay or a report on whatever topic, I already knew it. I'm about to kill the game. I already know I'm about to kill the game. Nowadays, these kids got AI and Chat GPT. See, back in my day, we didn't have Chat GPT coming up in the game. Listen, you really had to put your writing skills on display. You really had to come with the literary elements, right? You had to come with the foreshadowing and the allegory and the metaphors, right? You really had to put your writing skills on display. No AI, no Chat GPT. And of course, due to the fact that I also write music, yes, album out now, Sahel 1816, go to my homepage in my playlist section. So yes, I've been able to sharpen my ability to express myself. So by the time I came on YouTube, I was already sharp and ready to go. Now, as it relates to, what he said about my coverage on certain topics like geopolitics, like I said, everything I talk about on YouTube, these are conversations I would have in real life with my homies. Like when we kicking it, just having a conversation. Like I said, they were the ones that were telling me for years and years, bro, you have to make a website. You got to make a platform. You got to make a YouTube. You got to make a blog site, right? We cannot keep these conversations simply between me and you, right? The entire world has to hear these thoughts and sentiments. You have to share your thoughts with the world. Now, of course, I exceeded my expectations because for those of y'all that have been watching me since day one, you already know my content has actually reached those governments, right? My videos has actually reached those with connections in those governments, in those regimes, right? So my homies was right. I got to admit, the homies were right because they've been telling me, bro, you have to make a platform. You have to get it out there. Now, fast forward to today, we got 23,000 subscribers, and every single big name in Black YouTube, I guarantee, has heard about me. Either directly because I dissed them, or either indirectly because the content is of such a high quality. But yeah, man, in summary, man, shout out to Afro Think Tank. That's somebody who has been showing me love for the longest time, right? Since my channel was real small, he been in the comment section showing me love. And when it comes to me, I'm a simple man. I just want all of our people around the world to enjoy peace, prosperity, and happiness, right? That's what I want for all of our people around the world. Peace, prosperity, and happiness. And anybody or anything that stands in the way or stands in opposition to that peace, prosperity, and happiness is an enemy and should be eliminated immediately. Essentially, that's a summary of my mentality. But anyways, man, I'm not going to be here too long, man. It's your boy Neferkare, Dessalines, back in the Billy, yes indeed. Cash App in the description. Support the channel. Support the album, Sahel 1816. Go to my homepage or go to my playlist section. And I'm gone. Peace.
Told me she loved me and said that it's real. So independent, ain't signing no deal. Feel like a king and I'm up in Cap Henry. I'm in the citadel, top of the hill. Trying to run up and we let off a cannon. Secret location, I'm keeping it sealed. You ain't retaliate, Franco Medina. Came to the country and he got killed. You ain't retaliate, Rafi Mans. Thought you was loyal, thought you was real. Didn't even want to come pick up the body. Had your man locked up, he died in the cell. Up at the palace, I'm throwing a party. Right on the south and I'm giving them hell. And my little shorty, she looking exotic. African features, she casting a spell. Run to the check like I work on my fitness. Wake up each morning and handle my business. Said that she love me, she want my genetics. Wanna get married and make it official. Wanna get married and have my babies. Up in the city, I'm riding Mercedes. Up in the city, they treat me like royalty. Feeling like Dolph, talking about lords. Spreading my wings and I had to get fly. Up in the top, an incredible vibe. Came from the bottom, I'm up in the sky. Gave one look and said, baby, you fine. Wake up each morning and handle my business. They just be talking, you see me, I live. Ride on my enemies, sounding like thunder. 1804, got that shit in my spirit. 1804 when I step in the building. 1804, and that's word of my mother. Rock my women and die for my brother. Never gonna fall when I'm deep under pressure. Tell them we back and they better accept it. Move like a king, every step is divine. Ride on my enemies with no exception. Taking revenge and I'm taking what's mine. Pour up a drink and it's time that we toast. Watching my back, keep my enemies close. Only the family, I stick with my brothers. Cannon's position outside of the coast. Heavy artillery for the protection. Move like a general, stick to the code. Feel like a king when I'm up in the north. Beautiful women, they trying to get chose. Launch an invasion all over the south. Capture the capital with all my woes. Look at my energy and my demeanor. Dripping that ice and that's head to my toes. Lately I'm flexing all on the Americans. Flexing my muscle on missing my road. Just got a carriage, just coming from London. Boy, that shit cash, I ain't taking no loans. Boy, that shit cash, that's fresh on the boat. Enemy know I got millions in gold. Enemy know I got choppers and cannons. How did I do it? They can't understand it. How did I do it? It's cause I'm relentless. Call me King Harry, my name is cemented. Call me King Harry, I'm up in the palace. Call me King Harry, I'm raising the status.